Hello, my children, my sons, daughters, non binaries, whatever you guys want to call yourselves. Welcome back to the channel. We are here and we've got a crazy cool update for you. The devs have put out some dev blogs because they do that. Turns out devs do dev blogs. Crazy, I know. Uh it is going to be the weapons and vehicles of the Forest Shadows update. Apparently that's the new one. This is an insane name. Forest Shadows. Ooh. That sounds like a like D&D or something like it sounds like a fantasy. You know what I mean? Like we're going on the quest of the Forest Shadows or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, guys, so we're gonna be going over the equipment as well as some new maps and stuff that we're getting. So that'll be pretty interesting. So let's jump into it. I'll give my thoughts on each of these as we go through. So the first one is that the Soviets are getting a silenced PPSH 41 that also has this little front grip. I don't know if that changes the stats for the weapon at all, but this is effectively a PPSH silenced. And I'll tell you guys straight up, I'm not a fan of this being added, and not for the reason that you guys might expect. A lot of people are probably going to be mad and think this is like Soviet bias or whatever. I don't think so. I don't really care. The PPSH is strictly speaking pretty worse, pretty much completely worse than the Fedorov or even the AS-44. So I don't really know why anyone would think this is somehow Russian bias. I mean, I guess because it's the only silenced tech tree gun, but silencers don't do anything in Enlisted, so who cares, right? I guess they like slightly reduce recoil or something like that, but like who's out here like, man, look how biased they are because they get a silencer. Like, who cares? They already had the PBD Brommet, right? They already had the silenced thing, so I don't know. It doesn't matter to me. What I do care about with this is the fact that this is just strictly speaking a better version of the PPSH 41. Not by like any measurable difference, right? Not by any like extreme difference, because again, the silencer just doesn't do a whole lot, but it is still strictly speaking probably going to be a better version of the PPSH 41. And I don't like that because that means that now there's just like this gun in the tech tree that there's no reason to use because this thing exists. And that's, in my opinion, really bad design. I would have much preferred to see this as a stick mag and maybe putting it at BR4. So then you go from BR3 with the stick mag PPSH to BR4 with the silenced variant of it. So then you know, there's actually like a noticeable difference between the two, and there's a reason to use each one, right? And they're not just strict one-to-one upgrades of one another, because that's, in my opinion, pretty boring. All right, moving on to Germany. Germany is getting the Jagd Panther G1. Jagd Panther's already in the game, unless it's some other Jagd thing that I'm misunderstanding, but I'm pretty sure this is already in the game as a premium squad and is now being added to the tech tree, which is fantastic. It being BR5 is going to cause problems because it is a pretty much extreme downgrade from the King Tiger, and so why would I use this instead of the King Tiger? Doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. I will say that at least the Jagd Panther is an interesting vehicle, right? And so it's neat in that regard, but when the King Tiger exists, I don't really know what the point of this vehicle is. I'd much prefer to see this down at BR4 if that were possible, but I'm not really sure. Maybe if it does get moved down to BR4, that would be good, and maybe its HE shells can be reduced so it can't be used as kind of like a HE slinger at a BR lower than its gun might otherwise imply. So, but it's well, is this a long 88? I don't actually know, guys. I don't know if the Jagd has the long 88 or if it has the Tiger 88. I don't really know. But the Tiger H1 is BR4, so I don't really see why this can't be BR4, right? And even if it is the long 88, which again I don't really know, even if it's the long 88, then it's like, well, it's still a turretless vehicle, and so like, yeah, it has more punching power than the King Tiger, but again, just reduce its HE shells, you're good to go. Bing, bang, boom. Basically, everything is going to be the exact same for this one. The Jackson. Now, guys, I love the Jackson. The Jackson is far and away my favorite U.S. vehicle of World War II. I love this stupid thing. Okay. I'm so glad this is finally being added. I am very disappointed, though, that it is in BR5 because of the exact same thing that I mentioned up here. There is no reason to bring this vehicle to battle when the Pershing exists. In what world would I want this vehicle whenever I can just have the Pershing? Right? This thing should really be brought down to BR4. It should have its HE shells reduced so you can't just abuse its bigger cannon and bigger shell to slap high explosives, and it should be used as a dedicated tank destroyer. I think that would be a really good solution for these two vehicles, and just for tank destroyers in general and enlisted. Japan is going to be getting the M2 carbine. We have some news about that. I believe Euthymia said that the developers decided, based on our feedback, that this would be made into an assault rifle. It will not be the standard M2 carbine that the Americans have, which is a rifleman weapon. This is an assaulter weapon. So that's pretty interesting, and I mean, cool, right? Cool. I think that's good. I think Japan has pretty shit assaulter weapons, generally speaking, at least at BR5. Like, the Tokyo Arsenal is okay, so it's nice to see something like this, as an assaulter weapon. So M2 carbine, if it's an assaulter weapon, okay, cool. But Japan is, however, getting the Ki 100 and the Shiden Kai, which are both pretty good planes overall. Finally getting a BR-30 plane. I know Japan has been really suffering in the mid-tier BRs for planes, as well as BR-5. Again, I don't really know why. Maybe is this an attack plane? I don't think so. No, this is a fighter plane. Why would you use this over the jet that exists? I mean, I guess because it has some rockets and it has, like, maybe it has more firepower with the 20 mils. I don't really know. Maybe plane aficionados from War Thunder can explain why this matters. I don't really know, guys. Regardless, we've got some stuff. I mean, the thing that I'm going to say about this update, guys, and the equipment that's being added to this update is I think it plays into more of the argument that I've been making for a while, which is that Enlisted is, in my opinion, really running out of content for the tech trees. Now, it's not running out of content in terms of adding new maps and adding new battlefields to play on, but I do think that it's obvious that they're running out of content to be adding to the actual tech trees, which is why it has slowed down with the amount of stuff they've actually been adding. And we haven't been getting a ton of new vehicles and equipment, and the ones that we have been getting are like stuff like this, the M2 carbine. I mean, is this, come to think of it, I mean, Japan in the last 3 updates have gotten all American weapons, right? Am I wrong about that? They got the M2, and then they got the Browning Auto with the Gorilla update. And then didn't they get another American gun in the last update too? Like before that? I don't really remember, but yeah, they've gotten a ton of American weapons in the last couple updates as well. So it just goes to show that I really think Enlisted's running out of World War II content, at least for the tech trees, right? So the developers need to either add the Italian or British tech trees, or they need to just move on to the Korean War if they don't want to do independent tech trees, right? I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Leave a comment down below. Let's talk about the Forests of Brandenburg. Sorry, I was reading this earlier. This is a new set of maps, or a new map coming to Enlisted. So we're going to be going to Brandenburg, which is obviously in Germany. So this is a new mission, Wald. Battle of Silo Heights in April 1945 played a major part in the encirclement of Berlin, and that is what this map is kind of inspired by, which is pretty cool. I'm hoping to see this soon. I'm really excited for this map. You can see that there's this kind of like lots of this network of fortifications, lots of trenches. I think it kind of almost, it reminds me of like the Eastern Front maps, like Belo Lake and God, what's the other one? Visikovo Village, where you have these like trench networks, but then it's set on the Western Front, which is really cool to see, right? And I'm hoping these pack guns are actually in the maps. Oh yeah, such as anti-tank guns on the outskirts. Yeah, I don't know if they're going to be like actual anti-tank guns that you can jump in and use on the map. That would be really, really cool. I've been a big fan and big proponent of adding more map-based emplacements to Enlisted, because I think that is a lot more interesting than just like building them. I mean, building them is interesting in its own way, but I would really love to see more of these, because it also opens the door to adding some more powerful versions of these emplacements. Like, imagine if, you know, we can't build 88mm emplacements, but they're on the map, and so they kind of become this like pseudo objective that each team is fighting over, because you want to make sure that the other team isn't controlling that very powerful like 88mm emplacement, right? Or even like tanks. I've said several times, I think it would be such a cool thing to add a damaged tank to a map, right? Like add like a, in the past I've said a King Tiger, but you could add something like a destroyed Mao, right? The mouse tank, mouse. I don't know how to pronounce it in German. Sorry, German speakers. I'm sure your ears are bleeding. But you guys know what I'm talking about. The big goofy tank, right? You add that to the map and say it's like damaged and destroyed, and so like one team can repair it, and suddenly you have an extra tank. I don't know. I think that's like such a cool idea that I really wish the developers would end up doing. But it does look really great. This map looks awesome. So you can see the late war maps will bring variety to the confrontation between the Germans and the Soviets, and that is pretty cool overall. As always, the map's going to have a higher chance of getting them, and so that's going to be neat. I'm guessing there'll be several different versions of this map involved. Probably have a destruction, probably have a confrontation, probably have several variants of the invasion game mode. So it's gonna be good. Oh, actually, it looks like they have 3 distinctive sections: dense forest, heavily fortified outskirts, and streets of a town. So it looks like we'll probably have um, 3 different versions of this. It's gonna be a good time. I think this map looks sick. What do you guys think? I like this bunker, these trench networks and stuff, the pack guns, and the town itself looks really cool. Lots of like good cover and movement. It looks like that they've put on these maps. So I'm hyped about this. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Remember to like and subscribe because it does help me out and I do appreciate it. And without anything else, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take it easy.